When brands reach a certain level of success, their products are naturally going to end up on Amazon. And maybe it's not the brand doing it themselves. They've got other wholesalers, distributors just naturally putting their products up there. And then there comes to a question for the brand internally, for their team to ask themselves, wait, do we want to keep having this done this way, or do we want to do it ourselves? What are the benefits, drawbacks? And that's what we're going to break down today. We have a lot of conversations with brands that sell to others that sell their products on Amazon, right? So maybe Amazon themselves or other distributors or wholesalers. And those brands are worried about getting those big revenue chunks right away when someone buys their product wholesale. They don't have to worry about it, right? And they're worried about transitioning over to maybe selling the product on Amazon themselves. So let's put yourself in those shoes. Let's say you're a brand and someone else, let's say a wholesale customer or distributor of yours is selling your products on Amazon for you. You're not actually doing it. They're putting it up there. You don't have to worry about it once it's up there because you've already sold the product. Is it a good decision for you to sell on Amazon yourself? Is it a good idea to cut them off? And if so, how do you do it? The biggest thing is, what are you missing out on by not doing it? So before you just rip off the Band-Aid, let's first break down the different ways that brands can sell their products on Amazon. So the first way is actually selling direct to Amazon themselves, like they're a vendor. And this has become less popular over the years as Amazon has moved away internally from this model, and they would actually buy your products from you wholesale. That's where you see on Amazon where it's sold by and ships from Amazon.com. There's also other ways where you can have third-party sellers sell the products. That's where you're selling to a wholesale customer or distributor who's reselling the product for you on Amazon, and that's where you're going to see on the Amazon pages sold by ABC company, fulfilled by Amazon. So when you're selling direct to Amazon as a distributor or wholesale customer, it's an easier sale for you as a brand, but it's less margins, right? Because they're buying the product in bulk. You're never having to touch or deal with it again. And they're the ones that are responsible for reselling it, and they're taking the risk on doing that and making their margins. When you're selling the product yourself and you own that entire chain from manufacturing to end sale, right? You're all of a sudden losing those maybe when big revenue hits you'd get from wholesale customers and spreading that out a little bit more, but selling direct to customers and making more margin on each sale. Another thing to realize when you're selling the product yourself, you have much more control on how that product is presented on Amazon. So in terms of content, in terms of obviously the price it's being sold at. The other big thing is promotion. How you're advertising, the dollars and the investment you're putting in advertising, and making sure those align with your goals. If you're leaving that up to somebody else, you don't even know if they're advertising your product, or you capturing all the sales that you could be on Amazon. So if you're transitioning from maybe selling direct to Amazon as a vendor and taking it over yourself, it's a little bit easier, right? What you do is you just stop actually fulfilling those POs that Amazon requests probably weekly. During that same time, you're setting up, your own seller centric account if you don't have one. You're getting inventory and setting everything up. It can take Amazon a little bit of time to sell through all their inventory, but when they've done that, you're set and you're ready to simply take over that listing and continue selling that product. It's a little different process than when you're selling to a maybe distributor or wholesale customers doing it for you. The reason is because there's a couple things to consider. Number one, what's your relationship like with that? Do you have a relationship with that company, right? And what's your relationship like with them? If they're a distributor that you have other strategic alliances with in terms of maybe other channels they sell your product, you definitely want to make sure you taking that into account and have an open conversation with them about this. The biggest thing with distributors, wholesale customers, they know this happens. This happens continually for them. If they're just reselling other people's products, it's common for brands to come in and say, no, we want to do this direct. So they almost should be expecting that. But at the same time, as we talked about with Amazon, setting up your own account, getting inventory, and having everything ready to go. So as they sell through their remaining product they have on Amazon, that your offer simply takes over, and to the end customer, nothing changes. It's important to realize that there's no one-size-fits-all approach, and you just want to have a plan going in of what it's going to look like in the beginning and focus on that ideal outcome of you taking over your products on Amazon. So something that's happened recently that's actually made this a lot easier is about 18 months ago in the fall of 2020, Amazon actually now provides the name and the address of third-party sellers on the Amazon platform. Before that, you could have Joe's Plumbing Company as a seller on Amazon reselling your products and you had no idea who that business was, who that individual was. There was no way to tie that to a company that may be buying from you and then reselling on Amazon. As of, again, about 18 months ago, Amazon now put that on every seller's page. So you can actually see the legal name of the entity that's selling the product and their address. So you can start to make some assumptions and say, oh, ABC Distribution, they're located in Newark, New Jersey, and I know that because I sell to an ABC company there. So putting those two together has made it really helpful for brands to understand who's selling their products on Amazon and then being able to track that to maybe who's buying the product from them wholesale. When this is done right, this is really a big win for brands to be able to take control of their products on Amazon. The biggest things are they have control of how their products are being presented and the content that's displayed, the prices the products are sold at, and how their products are being advertised and promoted on the Amazon ecosystem. And one of the most important parts is, frankly, they're just going to capture more margin because they're going to be selling direct to the customer themselves. So we have a great story of a client we've actually worked with over the years that fits in great to tell an example of how this looks and how this can happen. This is a product that's sold nationally in pretty much all major grocery store chains. Their products were all over Amazon, but they were not doing it themselves. There were dozens of third-party sellers over all their listings that were selling their products. And by the way, they have one single product, but there were probably 6-10 listings, maybe more than that, other different products, different quantity sizes, duplicate listings. It was very messy from a customer perspective, a customer going onto Amazon perspective, right? The branding was very inconsistent as well. Some listings had an old label of the bottle. Some listings had the new label. Other listings had nutritional facts. Some didn't. As an end customer, I'm going on Amazon to buy that product and I come across it. Not a lot of confidence there of number one, what I'm buying, is it a great product? So for the brand, it was very important for them to take that over. There were some steps that needed to be taken and a plan in place for that to happen. So we set out a plan with the brand to help them take control of Amazon themselves. It was a very methodical approach. It took months. It was not an overnight thing because it can just take time for some of this to happen. What they had to do on their side was identify and cut off some of these third-party resellers that were buying direct from them from wholesale. So those people could no longer resell the products on Amazon. On our end, what we did is we cleaned up all the listings, we combined listings, content, and made it very seamless for an end customer to land on that main page with different variation sets now that showed the different quantities, and making it very easy from a customer standpoint to understand the value of the product and why they want to purchase it. Now, there's still some unauthorized resellers out there who are still selling the product. They rarely get the buy box, so the brand is not too worried about them anymore. But the brand now has a great Amazon page. Their product listings were all combined, so now all those reviews have bubbled up together and they have thousands of reviews on their main listing. They've essentially doubled their margin they receive from the Amazon channel because they've taken control of it direct.